out there, my friends and family in 6 greasy stringland. We appreciate so much, before I start this, the comments, private comments some of you have sent, and anybody that subscribes and likes or just watches the videos. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get a little better at them. This is still a new medium for me in filming myself with some level of quality. A lot of videos I have out aren't. They're getting better. They'll be getting better as time goes by. Today, let's look at something that I saved from a dumpster. I hear stories I've seen on YouTube, guys that have pulled stuff out of dumpsters, broken guitars that were worth big money. And it's sickening that our consumerism has reached the point where it doesn't quite fit mustard. We're not going to fix it and give it to somebody. We're just going to toss it. Now, here's a situation with a mom and pop owned very small chain of music stores. I think 3, maybe 4 stores they own. And this guitar was bought and paid for maybe a year or 2 in the showroom, and it just happened to either get knocked off the wall or knocked off of a stand, or somebody smashed it into something trying it out. Could have gotten damaged in the back of the store. For whatever reason, couldn't be sent back to the distributor, and it was a nasty break. This store does not have an on-site luthier. I suppose they went to a luthier, and a luthier quoted them something a little bit expensive to fix it, and they realized that their margin would be nothing, so they just tossed it. Anyway, I convinced them to give it to me before it went in the dumpster. It was in about 4 pieces. You can see the headstock break right through here. It was in about 4 pieces. You had the headstock separated from the neck with a nasty break across. Truss rod was exposed, and there were 2 or 3 other chunks of wood that I had to kind of glue back in. I took all the pieces, I put it back together, sanded it a little bit after using some good wood glue that was from Stuart McDonald from StuMac. Glued it back together, kept the truss rod away from the glue so it didn't seize up. It still turns fine to adjust the neck. And glued a few little pieces back in here or there just for aesthetics. But it's an ugly break. It's a break that means if someone wanted to buy this, they probably wouldn't offer me that much money for it. I'd just as soon keep it. What it is a Blueridge BG-140. Not the BG-40, but the 140. This is all solid wood. Select Select Sitka spruce top. It's got select all mahogany, all wood, not laminate. Mahogany wood back and sides. Beautiful inlays on it. You've got a 24 3/4 inch scale and a 1 11/16 inch nut, which is old-fashioned Gibson from back prior to them increasing the nut width a little bit and having less and less guitars available in the old 24 3/4 length scale. It's basically a slope shoulder J45, but it's got its own sound. It's not just a copy. And when I say it's got its own sound, it's got a sound that some people actually like. This guitar retails for between $1,000 and $1,200. You can get it as cheap as $800, and with a case, I've seen it go for as much as $1,500, which I think's ridiculous for a Chinese Blueridge, but at the same time, it really is a beautiful sounding guitar, and I got it for free simply because it was busted up pretty bad, but it was not a hard fix. I have had to re-glue broken or separated things inside the guitar body, like some of the bracing. Is a more complicated job than this was. This basic was a piece it back together, glue it, clamp it real tight, let it sit, and she came out okay. It's not pretty, but it doesn't feel bad when touching the neck. You can barely feel that there's a break there. If I kept sanding, I wouldn't feel there was a break at all. But I left it where it was perfectly playable for me and not all that ugly. It really is a great sounding guitar. I'll lean up to the microphone here and as not to play anything and have any copyright infringement. Point I'm trying to make, it projects great. It's got that old slope-shouldered growl when you need it, like. It's got that old slope-shouldered growl. It really rings out. Just an all-around great acoustic guitar. This one's all acoustic. But like I say, $1,000 guitar, free. Absolutely free. Didn't ask for anything. I guess if they were going to throw it in the trash, which is where it was headed, it was in a junk pile with some electric guitars that had warped necks or were all busted up to eventually pull the tuners off, probably the nut, and pull the bridge pins out, that kind of thing. And they were literally going to toss the body, because it took them a little while to find the headstock. They finally found there was no desire to fix this thing because it was just too far gone and probably too ugly to get anything out of. I would have thought glue it back on, sell it for $200 or $300, but I think their desire was to be done with it. There may have been some personal stuff there too. You know, you smash a $1,000 guitar out on the showroom floor, sometimes they just don't want to see it again. But it's an absolutely gorgeous guitar, and I'm using a fixed zoom lens, so I'm not going to stick it right up in front of the camera. It'll go out of focus. But an absolutely beautiful guitar with your spruce top, mahogany back and sides, binding all around, beautiful inlays on the neck. And like I say, the headstock from the front doesn't look all that bad, and only from the back can you see the damage. It's perfectly stable, doesn't go out of tune, didn't affect the string height on the fretboard. It's just a great little short scale, basically a J45. It does have its own kind of sound to it, but these are high-end, hand-built Chinese acoustics. This isn't a $300 guitar. Like I say, they retail for $1,000 or better. You can tell by the grain of the wood, it really is beautiful, solid wood. And it is select. It's hand-picked. I can look at the grain and look where the seam joins perfect down the center. It's just an absolute gorgeous instrument. And smells, it's got that Martin wood smell. It does not have that cheap glue smell. It smells like, when you open the case, it smells like opening the case on a Martin or a Montana Gibson. You smell wood. It's a very, very well-made guitar, and it retails for over $1,000. And busted neck, it was going in the trash. We picked it up for free. Saved from a dumpster, a $1,000 Blueridge slope-shouldered acoustic guitar. Thanks so much for watching this. We'll be back with a lot more videos, of course, as we continue to try to increase our quality for the channel. Those that subscribe and like, thank you so much. Those that just watch, thanks for watching, putting up with my ramblings. Anyway, stay safe from this COVID virus. COVID-19 is spreading across the United States as I make this video, and we pray for all families and everyone and our economy to be safe and vigilant, and we'll get through it, okay? What holds us all together, folks? It's 6 greasy strings. What was that, D minor? Is that the saddest chord in the world? Makes everyone just burst into tears? I don't think that was.